All right, and I'm recording. Okay. So for those of you watching at home, this is our attempt to wrap up this epic exploration of a haunted mansion. In the course of exploring this one haunted mansion over the course of, I don't know, 3 days, you guys have managed to go from level 0 to level 4.
It's been an intense 3 days.
It has.
Yeah, it has.
Filled with incident.
A crucible. Our intrepid gang, due to life scheduling and other things and time passing, the time has come to wrap up this story of our villagers. So we're going to do what we can in the next 2.5 hours, 2 hours, however long we have. And I'm going to leave that up to you guys. You guys are going to have to figure out how to wrap this up effectively. I mean, I'll do what I can along the way, but
I believe it will be blood and gurgling.
It's only going to take us about 5 minutes to run down the hill waving our arms like, it's too scary.
Right. That could be a good.
I'm going back to Paris.
Well, we were just discussing Call of Cthulhu, right? And we don't know if the conclusion here could be sort of a similarly dire situation, with all of us coming back as, I don't know, odd little liveried homunculi running around this place.
Right.
Well, that would be horrible, but possible.
So here we are in the gloomy afternoon on the edge of the courtyard. The colonnade, that's not the word I'm looking for. The walkway with the columns along it. Can't remember the word I'm looking for.
Portico?
What's that?
Portico?
No, there's another one for like a place where you walk when you're thinking, and it's in monasteries, cloisters.
Okay.
Yeah, cloisters.
Or the monk walk.
Colonnade.
The monk walk, yeah. This hall is lined with the statues of former lords of the manor, all of which their heads have all been knocked off, and you guys earlier determined one of those statuary heads was missing. Among this, there was only 5 heads and 6 statues. You recently, the cleric,
Crespon?
Crespon, thank you. I'm gonna have to remember everybody's names. Right there, it's written right there on my screen. Crespon managed to repel the wraith-like form of Lord Leget himself. The headless wraith of Lord Leget was repelled, but not before draining some of the vitality from our incredibly gifted elven bard, who feels weak and shaky after this encounter, and only feels restored when in contact with Ictrude. Or at least that's the only person that Gabri has been in contact with since this incident. But when Ictrude put one hand or helped support Gabri out into the cloisters, he felt restored. But as soon as Ictrude took her hand off of him, he again felt weakened.
We really can't go through life like that. So it's just.
But can't we, my lady?
Can't you? Yeah. Hey, Jason, is that a Leger local effect, or is that like one of the potential consequences of like a spiritual injury in freebooters?
Is that Leger local effect?
Like, yeah, it's a neat wounding effect, and I was just curious if
sorry,
into the rules of this particular sort of module, or whether it is sort of something in the larger freebooters rule set. And we don't need to know now, but I'm just kind of curious on the rule aspect.
I will tell you, it's written into the module.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
no, it's neat. I love it.
Yeah, what happened to Gabri is mechanically specified.
Neat
within the rules here.
I mean, neater for me because I didn't get zapped. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. Or Gabri.
I'm sorry, Gabri.
So there you are. It's gloomy. You have 2 unconscious former servants of the manor who Crespin has managed to pull back from the brink, and they are now lying, breathing shallowly at the edge of the courtyard there on the paving stones covered with black mold.
So let's go up to the tower. End this.
Hold on. Can Crespon help Gabri somehow with some kind of clerical power.
Yes, I'm trying to think. What would I mean? Gabri would. I'm trying to think if he would request that. I think he would say, you know, my lady, my vigor. It is waned since that foul shade placed its hands on me. But with you, I feel so alive again. But I do not know what wasting sickness has befallen me.
I'm not sure he wants to be cured, to be perfectly honest.
So maybe I would say
Truth is the drug.
Yes.
Yeah, she's rolling her eyes at that business.
Mm-hmm.
She's heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think Crispin and Gabri we have discussed the prominence of the lady in local culture, and I believe that Gabri was one apart. Gabri was marching to us, dare I say it, a different lute.
I don't think he marched to lutes.
You've never seen Gabri.
That's right. That's right.
You've never seen me lead a parade.
Right. So right, we do have that. Crespon and Gabri do have that connection. Perhaps he would say, Crespon, please do say a prayer of the lady over me. I fear the taint of this place has fallen over me. A dark cloud, I feel.
Gabri, is this a chance for you to join those who follow the lady's song? Has her grief and her tears touched your heart?
I believe the All Mother has shown me the strength of her support. Truly, I could use comfort in this time. Perhaps the devotion to Donoviev is what this adventure has brought me to.
Well, Crespon is nothing but he is indeed feels strong compassion for Gabri, whose spiritual injury seems different than the two gentlemen who are unconscious, but we hope slowly recovering. Crespon will attempt to lay on hands.
All right.
We can see that, Jason.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Just letting
Yeah,
you
lay
know
on
that.
hands. So I'm going to burn one Constitution, which will take me down to 11, in order to roll heal HP or ability points equal to double your. Gabri, I have good news. We're having a sale. Because my current favor, being level 4, my current favor is 4. So, yeah, it got reset when we leveled.
You prayed also, I think, right?
I think so. Yeah. I think part of our leveling last time was there was a little dash to the chapel to garner the lady's favor and sort of take deep breaths and get ready for this thing. So I burn one Constitution. I don't think I burn favor.
That's correct. What's your Constitution at right now?
It is at a base is 13. We're currently at 11.
Okay. So when you dropped from 13 to 12, did you lose a hit point?
Did I lose? Oh, I did lose a hit point, actually. Am I supposed to lose a hit point?
Yeah, because your modifier goes down, so you lose that.
Oh, okay. Hit point. So hit points are now 8. Minus 2 to decreased cons. Because that's not that will only be healed by healing the Constitution, not by, that's not an injury.
That's right.
Does that make sense? Okay. And I also no, and I'm still without con modifier. I've lost my +1 there as well. Okay. Good to be able to erase.
All right.
And it's rolling versus wisdom or
Or charisma. Yeah.
charisma. Thank God. So let's go for charisma because that's actually a 0 modifier. All right. So let's bring up the dice. And Oh, our Lady Donavieve, our grief made manifest by your loss, by the loss of Lord Leget, whose dark wanderings have afflicted our new brother. There we go.
Come on. Nail it.
7. And do I get my, I mean, I think it's not going to change it, but I get my healing. It's not my healing. I've got my holy symbol. Or no, that's only for invoke.
That's right. Does not affect this roll.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Then that is a 7. So you heal Gabri. The warmth of the lady's healing will give you 4 ability points, because that's my current favor. 4 HP or ability points.
Well, and that is fantastic. Let's see.
I seem to recall you were really low in something.
Well, I was, but I can.
And Jason, it's at the player's discretion how they heal it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right.
The first time anybody's ever magically healed in this game.
I think Crispin did that before.
Did he?
Think so. Oh, Gabri, wait. Your alignment is. Oh, actually, very nicely. The reason this is possible is Crespin's alignment has changed to good,
Right.
because we rewrote his
Oh.
traits. Because when he was lawful, I believe Gabri is chaotic, and you
No, neutral.
Oh, neutral. Oh, sweet, you're good.
The typo. So
That's right.
Nice.
yes, no, that's fantastic, because that I all of a sudden my fingers feel more nimble on my lute, and although my strength hasn't fully returned, it at least is not a hindrance to me right now. So actually I'm back up to full on dexterity and at least into 0 modifier range on strength.
Okay.
Fantastic. Oh,
So-
did the lights just flicker with you?
Yes.
Yeah, excellent. That's good special effects.
Right.
Friends, the lady's gift shows that we are on the right path and we are doing the right things, because this healing ability is not me. This is the will of the lady. And surely we must press forward to have her will done here and purge this accursed place of its darkest secret.
Fate and fortune, my friend, will forever be with us as we serve the dearest Lady of Tears in this endeavor.
Allard is like, we can't beat that Lord Leger. He's too powerful. We cannot do it. We cannot fight him. We have to fight something else. I stabbed him with a silver dagger. It did nothing. And, we appreciate the Padre's help with the healing piece of it, but I'd much rather none of us be injured in the first place.
Well, I mean, now we know where Lord Leger is. We could start at the other end of the manor and work through the basement.
That would take a long time.
Not if we want to wrap up tonight.
Well, I'm going to draw Verite and hoist my shield and say, this is the moment where we go back to the tower.
My friends, but one small, teeny, tiny point. I don't even know what my accent is now. We would do better having a plan. I have been thinking, and I don't know what we can use to strike at Le Grenouille Noir and purge it. I may look in the one last time into this interesting text to see if there is but some clue, but I have so far come up with nothing.
Should we go back to the library and do some research? I don't know. You're the book guy.
Can Crespon bless our swords?
Oh, I don't think Crespon's got that kind of juice.
I mean, that's an invocation, right? Like,
oh, yeah. Okay.
The old man up there was enamored of Boris. Maybe we could
turn him into a wolf.
Oh, could Boris be some sort of bait?
Ooh.
I was thinking of coating his back with poison.
Even better.
So that
That's kind of bait.
when the horrible evil guy pets him,
How
And then
much,
licks
how
his
much
finger.
Hitman have you been playing, Dean?
A toxic nerve agent takes effect. Well, I do have some mushrooms that I found in the woods way back from when I started, back before all this happened.
3 days ago.
Yeah.
Has Boris worked up a tolerance to the poison?
Those are all established roles.
to this
I would
contact
totally,
poison. Yeah.
I would totally buy that Jaspar has been gradually poisoning his dog to build up resistance, and you could totally spin those mushrooms as some kind of nerve agent, but it would take an established role to do that.
Oh, you can hit this
His
roll,
his
Dean.
dog, his daughter, his neighbor, like have all been building up a resistance to
Oh.
this poison.
Boris gets into things. He keeps nibbling away at my mushroom stores. He can't read. He can't see that one is marked poison and the other is marked good.
It was just those couple of days when you found him unconscious outside the.
I revived him every time.
He's a hardy dog.
What's an established role?
That would recall for your intelligence.
Too bad it's not wisdom.
Yes, my intelligence of 8.
Are you going for it?
So
So the
what could
drawback
possibly go wrong?
is well, if you roll a 6. Is this what are you actually trying to establish? Let's be clear about the stakes here.
Let's establish that the mushrooms in my pack are poisonous, and that if I apply them to Boris, they would not kill Boris outright.
Okay, and what's the method of application? Do you just rub the spores on his back? Do you have to like mush
I make
them
a
up?
paste.
Okay.
Oh, with like a little bit of garlic and butter, and
Yeah.
then kind of saute for a little bit. Yeah.
I actually have some barley, like an oatmeal, you
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
like a porridge, and then I would rub that on his back and work it in so that it's not obvious that we have a dog coated in mushroom paste.
A little shampoo. What is the effect of the nerve agent?
It paralyzes.
Okay. Yeah, so go for it. So, and also Boris is resistant to it. That's part of this establishment,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah, get on the get it. Yeah, do it on.
I'll do it on the thing because you guys don't trust me.
It would just be another 11.
I get full screen over here.
And remember, you got to move the dice in first, right? Is that you guys have?
They're already in.
Okay.
Okay.
I did that already. So how do I roll this?
There's
this
like
thing
a
down here?
refresh roll, like a.
Yeah, I got it. A 10.
For real?
real.
You guys
Look,
can
look.
corroborate that? Okay.
Yeah. It's on the
We
owlbear.
see a 10.
All
I
right.
am no
awesome.
cheater. I GM. I don't care what the dice
I
do.
know.
The
I
dice-
know. Wow. Okay. And so I guess everybody looks over, or maybe like this exchange between Crispin and Trude and Gabri's going on, and Jaspar's off somewhere like nearby. What are you grinding this stuff in? What do you got?
I have lots of stuff. Let's
Yeah,
see.
Jason, I'd like to think that we're having this moment of to the lady of tears, fate and fortune, and all of a sudden there is the sound of Jasper clearing his throat in preparation for the biggest loogie that he's hawking into this bowl to act as part of the mixing agent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, actually, that empty bottle of oil that I used to burn up Lord Leget's skeleton.
Yes.
I'm gonna crumble the mushrooms into it, and then I'm gonna roll the barley to crack those open.
Okay.
And put those into the bottle, and then I actually have a flask of brandy from the last time when I was flush in town.
Oh, great.
And I will use that as a moistening agent. Not too much. I want it to be pasty. Or thick, but enough to get it out of the bottle. And I'm gonna shake and shake and shake, and I'm like, boys and girl, I think I have just what we need, or at least just what we need to get close enough to do your thing, which is the stabby and pokey.
Jasper, you're going to pour the brandy on the dog and light the dog on fire as a flambe? That
No,
seems
no.
unkind.
The
Cruel, even.
the evil man took quite a liking to Boris last time we were here, and I'm hoping that he will, in perfect villain fashion, welcome Boris into his arms once more, and succumb to the poison that I have just concocted.
Blofeld-esque. The villain.
Yes, Blofeld-esque. I should have taken Poisoner.
No kidding. You could
But
rethink that. Can we get this Verite blessed by Crespon? Crespon, would you bless my sword, even if it has no other impact? I would feel better.
once I get it all mixed, I start working it in along Boris's spine like a good flea and tick ointment.
Make sure you get it right up like that spot between
Yeah.
the ears that people always really want to go to really.
Yeah,
spin.
yeah, and it's along the spine where dogs don't lick.
Right. You got to make sure it's out of his. Yeah.
Yeah,
This sounds like something you might have been doing anyway all along. Right? Like
it's flea and tick stuff.
It
you know.
works.
Every 30
It works.
days.
It was just that one time when you noticed your daughter hadn't moved in like 4 hours after patting the dog. You put it all together.
All right. So
Light
yeah.
bulb goes off over my head.
Crespin, what do you are you going to try to enchant Verite?
Well, it's a good question. I'm looking at the amount of hubris that would be required. And I'm thinking momentous, is that right? Or remarkable is like purify, contaminate at hubris 1, but this feels like a little bit more than that.
What are you trying to get it to do? What would you like the blessing of the lady to do with this sword, given the domains that we've discussed, plus this kind of vengeance against the forces of corruption?
Oh, I would like it to be something that that heals and purifies, specifically like it comes into contact with anything unclean or of Grenouille Noir, that it purges and cures.
Purges and cures. So you would strike someone with this sword and hurt them, but at the same time you'd be
purifying them. Yeah.
Whoa. Huh. Interesting.
Right, because she's the she's an agricultural deity, so we're really conceptually, like Grenouille Noir feels like it's an illness, right? This whole thing is disease, and we have been, and Crespon actually is now thinking of it a little bit along the lines of a cure, because he's done now 4 actually with Gabri, 4 separate folks he has used or been a channel for the force of the lady to undo the darkness of Le Grenouille Noir, and so to give an instrument of war, to do it that way, it's a little bit of like an opposites kind of thing.
So in just as an example, if one of these ghoul servants had attacked and Ichtrude had struck one of them down with this blessed sword, they might be dead, but then in death they would maybe be purified of the corruption. They would be returned.
Yeah, and that like I would think that this wouldn't help the sword against like a normal flesh and blood kind of person. Do you know what I mean? Like if Ichtrude got into a fight with a drunken guy in the village, like this isn't going to have any effect because that dude's not diseased. But like specifically against the the Le Grenouille Noir of the disease kind of stuff.
Okay, great. So it's like Grenouille Bane almost.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if this sword, if you struck, so this guy sitting in the chair that you're sort of imagining whatever that person might be. I mean, I guess Cedavang, you know the name of him.
Former, we know former counselor turned, we think, bad, if we believe the library guy, which, Crespon does.
So I would say that, Purify is Hubris 1, but if you wanted to affect him, that would be Hubris 2.
Yeah, okay. No, I think we do that. And Hubris 2 is also Cure. So I think that might go a little.
Yeah.
Might go with that. So yeah, I think we're looking at a Hubris 2. All right.
And so the idea would be you would strike this person, and the whatever, some or all of the corruption would be removed from them or stricken from them
Right.
with this
Right.
blow. Okay.
Permanently, temporarily, unclear. You know, it
Got
probably depends on how the roll lands.
Okay, and also I'm going to say that if you manage to do, there's a duration associated with this invocation, but this duration is going to be how long it's going to last on the sword, right? So on a 10 or higher, you get duration 3. On a 7 and 9, you better run up to that tower as fast as possible. Duration 1.
Yeah, so I'd like to suggest some parallel actions that we might go to the chapel. Ichtrude and all who follow the lady, we will have a blessing where we will bless this sword and ask the lady's favor as we attempt to purge this
Can
place.
we pile all our swords and just bless them en masse?
I think we get 1 blade. Oops, switch tabs.
Yeah.
Sorry. I think we get one. I think we get 1.
You could totally do all of them, but that would bump up hubris to 3.
Yeah, and I'm not sure any of your blades have ever done anything in this. So the only
Nope.
verite is the sword that's going to count here.
So Crespon's not the only person dealing with hubris in this moment, Ichtrude.
Ah,
Would you like to add your hubris to my roll?
Could you baptize Ichtrude at the same time?
Oh, hell yeah.
Like
Hey,
bless
can
the
you-
whole person?
Yeah.
can you
Yeah,
baptize
is
Boris
it time
while
to get
you're
a
at
little,
it?
get the baptismal font going?
Can you,
Like,
can
she's
you
ready to
baptize
buy in.
Boris? He's going to be pivotal to all of this.
I don't think we can wash it off now that you put it on.
Well, you just dribble a little on his head. That's a baptism. You don't have to dunk him.
Oh man, no river, no bless.
You do have the holy
You don't see the
water.
bubbles coming up. You know you haven't done enough.
How much holy water do you have left?
Well, a great question, GM, that you might ask. I have exactly, Crespon has 3 holy water in the jug and 1 in the censer.
That's what she said.
Now. And while this is going on, a lard who is not of the faith at all wants to dash off to the library and get a last consultation with the librarian to see if he can get some useful bit out of, I'm sorry, I know the name of this book. What is this book? The Tabulus
Maragdina.
Maragdina, yes.
Tabulus Maragdina.
An 8-generation-old book that may hold the secrets to unravel the enchantments that bind Leget, with an explanation to the old man of, this is it, we're going.
Okay, so Allard's off to the library. Everybody else is going to the chapel. Is that
I
right?
think so.
Yep.
Sure.
And in the chapel, well, let's deal with Allard first, actually.
Well, actually, why don't I go with Allard? Because he's my bud.
Okay.
Pals?
Yeah.
So Jaspar and Allard head off to the library,
Oh, God.
leaving the others.
Let's keep the librarian from petting the dog.
Oh,
Whoops.
It's Chekhov's dog.
yeah. So you pound on the door, and I forgot the dude's name. What's the dude's name?
It's not an easy name. It is
Bob.
Oh,
not Bob.
it's
Onfroy.
Enfoy. Right.
Onfroy.
Enfoy, of course.
Yeah.
Our good friend Enfoy.
Yeah, so Enfoy lets you into the room, expresses surprise at your continued existence. And you have the book with you, right? The
Yes.
tabula?
Yep. And Enfoy, my friend, we have seen the Duke Leget. He has gone from this world, but is still very much here without his head. We feel this is the moment we have to purge while the lady's favor is upon some of our colleagues in the chapel. We are hoping to bring some extra knowledge to bear to help us get rid of Stedevang and the horrible curse he has brought upon Leget Manor.
Also,
You are on the cusp.
We are on the threshold of victory, or at least the threshold of violence.
but I do have a question. There's he seems to want his head back. I found his skeleton without his head.
Wait,
This is a different guy.
you encountered the Lord Leger?
Yes. I thought that's what we were talking about. I'm sorry. Do you
We're talking
have
about
any
the
idea
vampire.
where Leger's head is?
All I know is that Cedavang had him beheaded.
Hmm.
So Cedavang probably has his head. So we
I'm
take
sure
care of
he has-
Cedavang, give the head back to Leget. Bob's your uncle. Back to town. Easy peasy.
We found this skull, Onfray, but it seems to belong to the Lady Seville. Unclear what's going on here, but most importantly, we want to focus on the tabulus Manor Drana to see
Yes.
where our, if there is some force or ritual or some leverage we can use to pry Stidavang and Le Nuit Noire from this now accursed place, to restore the glories of Leget. And I must admire your organizing system here. This is really lovely. This library is maybe the nicest library I've ever seen. And that's sincere. That's coming from a book guy. So a
It's
little
the
buttering
finest
him up.
library outside of the capital. I'm happy to have my accomplishments recognized.
They most certainly are. I mean, some fools get admired in the Dewey Decimal System and the tyranny of numbers, but you organize by association. It's so much nicer as a researcher.
I
So
see
I-
that you share my passion, Elf. I was wrong to judge you so harshly before.
So I'm asking for a consult that you and I, and perhaps with our friend here, as scholars, can see what we can find. The key to the future is in the past. How can we
The-
unravel this mystery?
The tabula. If one knows how to read it, and I read it, but I am no wizard. I fear to speak the words aloud. Those who speak the words aloud invoke those sorcerous forces, which are prone to changing people forever. I have stayed awake at night, burning the lamp oil, pouring over its cryptic text, and I can tell you that within you will find incantations that will remove the enchantments imbued upon objects and people. Enchantments, mind you, placed by magical forces. It will not change the nature of Cedavang, who has been claimed by the Black Frog. However, anything that he possesses or holds sway over, which carries magical power, the words in this book may reduce to mundane form.
Mm. So it will dispel this enchantment on the objects or items that Stidavang may have ensorcelled or hold sway over.
Does that include the entire manor? Like, could we just read that at the house?
No. The corruption that claims the manor comes from the realm of the gods. This book applies to the realm of wizardry. They are different. Did you not study this? No, you know
I was
nothing.
asleep that day.
I wasn't talking to you. I know you don't know anything about this.
I understand, Onfray. So mechanically, we've got maybe a spell to dispel enchantment. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Yeah, super cool. I'm giving Onfray all of my rations,
Oh,
even the nice bread.
he is delighted and instantly starts stuffing his mouth. So everything he says to you after that point is through a mouthful of bread.
Surprising, he had a particularly large beetle for breakfast. So
right. None of us
Usually
find
that's
it.
a lot of fiber that fills you up for the whole day.
Yeah, but yeah.
Can I ask him if there's another text related to this that I can sneak on the way out, or I think I should be happy with what I have?
Oh, you want to ask him if there's anything else in the library that might be helpful?
Yes. I mean, I figure he'll point and gesticulate and
I don't know. Why do I feel like we should have done that the first time?
Yeah, you didn't. He gestures. He sort of, yeah, you're right. Through a mouthful, he gestures at the, that little window seat kind of camp that he had set up. He gestures above there's like like an 8-foot tall window behind that with the curtains drawn, and he gestures at the upper window molding. And when you look up there, you see that there's a scroll case kind of tucked away on that upper window there.
Hostess fruit pies? Is that what he's trying to say?
Well-
Well, great. We'll get the scroll case down. I'm assuming with his permission, and let's have a look. What we got?
Do we need to climb up there? Because now I can climb.
Oh, hey, yeah. You want to climb up and toss it down?
to?
Now that you are a
Sure.
experienced climber?
I am Spider-Man. Spider just spare. Spider just spare.
Okay, so
Spider
you
just spare.
climb up. You climb up there, and
Is it
come
legal?
back.
He don't care.
Ooh, it's the generator.
Oh, spell
Ooh.
generator.
Yeah, so somebody took the spell generator from my game and turned it into an online thing.
People are cool.
So this scroll in particular, as noted in the module, is determined randomly.
Neat.
So we generate the name of the spell, and when you cast a spell, it has to fit somehow within the name. You can describe whatever effect you want, but it has to somehow the same way that your domains apply to your invocations for a magic user.
Oh, right.
Casting a spell, the name of the spell is super important.
Oh, super cool.
So it could be the blazing blood blossom.
Right.
That would be fantastic. We need that.
Well, I guess the question is, Jason, are you going to hit that button or do we
Yeah.
roll?
I'm going to hit the button.
All right, sweet.
It
Survey says.
would take a number of rolls to.
Is it a
Yeah,
magic
no,
user spell?
Time
or
is tissue.
druid spell. It's a magic user
Actually,
spell, right?
I mean, Kevin, I think I'll have you, just for the sake of.
Just for the sake of. All right.
So
So I'm going to go into chat and put the link here for you to
Okay.
go to that page. And it's going to give you like 5 results or something like that. And it's
Okay.
the top result is the one.
Is the right one? I'm with
Yes.
you.
So
I'm committed.
Enfoi like grabs the scroll and pulls it, pops off the wooden cap on the end and like shakes out this roll of parchment. And he says, this is, and then you push the button.
Nice. All right.
Magic
Are
user
you putting the
spells,
link in
right?
chat?
Oh, I thought I did.
I only see Albert.
I'm juggling so many goddamn windows. How's that?
Yes. All right. There we go. All right. Generate magic user spells. Big money, big prizes. All right. It is Steedavang's uncanny demise. What a coincidence! How could that happen? It is actually Alhasta's oil arrow.
There you go.
There we
Okay.
go.
That's what you got.
Oil arrow?
Oil.
I got face of copper.
Oh, I gotta
It
try
could have
this.
been Fulmaria's enlightening shield, Zamato's ice wave, the mark of extraplanar glory, Raelius's avarice aura, which I think somebody already has.
Somebody suffers from.
Yeah, but
From
no,
birth.
Alhasta's oil arrow.
Yeah, so that is, and the way a scroll works is it's a one-time use.
Okay.
You roll your intelligence to cast a spell, even if you're not a magic user, but it's riskier for people that aren't magic users.
Great. I happen to be a wizard.
You happen to be multi-classing. This is
Yeah.
your first spell.
The best spell.
I do appreciate the first 2 on my list. First was Strike of Screaming Pain, which when you're hit with that, then you need the second spell on the list, which is Hergoth's Rejuvenating Scream.
I got just
These are great.
voracious lust.
Ooh.
Jeez.
We're
I tried
keeping
druid
PG-13 here,
spells,
guys.
and I got the Serpent of Throbbing Tar, which goes with voracious lust, I believe.
Okay, all right.
All right,
Oh,
fair
hey-o.
one.
Enough with the illicit spell tables.
I'll be here all week. Try the veal.
Yeah. All right. Fabulous. That was exciting, Jason. Thank you. Alhasta's oil arrow.
Okay, and jumping back to the chapel,
Yes.
we have Crespin. Now, who are you blessing, or what's the overall? What are the multiple parts of
I'm
this
gonna go get a
benediction?
chink while you're
Well, so
blessing.
I guess here's the question. Can I bless and then pray, or is that too munchkin-y?
Um,
Because I guess I'm hoping to be able to retain some clerical juice to throw at whatever we're going into the final battle.
Yeah, no, I think you're at the chapel. You're going to the final battle. I think you can bless and then pray. That's and then I think
does
that's
that feel-
fine
I
because you're going to
think
use
that's-
stuff up and then try to
yeah.
restore.
All right.
But then you're not going to sit there and do it repeatedly. That I won't let you do. But,
No. We're not going to loop it. We're going to do one blessing.
Great.
And yeah, maybe I can. I'll tell you what. Hubris plus 1 power. Favor. Okay. Oh, favor doesn't interact at all with invoke.
You when you make any roll that falls within the domain of your deity, you may spend favor before you roll the dice to increase the result by +1 for each point of favor spent. So anything you do that is in the name of Dawn of Yev, you can spend favor.
Gotcha.
And invoking is
all right. In that case, here's what we're going to give ourselves the biggest possible chance. Crespin calls to the lady, does a little lay preaching, speaking of the virtues of the town of Leget, the pear brandy, the harvest has come, and now all of us have ripened on the vine in these 3 days, from barely edible grains to now sort of a ripe barley of vengeance, where the crop that we have planted and dutifully tended and even been injured in the fields while we've been tending, this crop is now ready to be harvested, and we will bring the lady's justice and the lady's vengeance for all the fallen back to Stedevang and purge Le Grenouille.
Oh my God.
Hopefully all are touched to here.
Well, and Crespin, I know we've arranged this, so Gabri is going to reach into his repertoire and pull out one of his earliest, which is the Warrior of Wheat, which is the song in remembrance of poor Robinette that sings to the ladies glory.
And that will fuel us also the remembering all who have fallen on this long journey. All of our lost comrades perished to skeletons and other horrible things.
So Bob is Gabri going to
very faintly we can hear the clacking.
That's right, the clacking.
The clacking.
I could pull that one out of the repertoire, but the mood's just not right.
Yeah. All right, let me get the owlbear.
Jason, you were asking. I mean, mechanically, I don't know if it's of any benefit to.
I mean, you could improve Kevin's invoke roll, but you might want to save your art for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would save your art because I'm going to burn 4 favor to put a +4 to this roll because I'm hoping to get a 10+.
Wow.
Because then the request is granted with duration 3.
Okay, and again, what exactly are you? Who are you placing? What are you? Is it extrude as the person?
No, I'm going to do verite, and I think all who wish to put their weapons in. Crespin will put in, unless do you think that dilutes it too much?
No, it's just part of the fiction. Yeah, I mean,
because I think all of us, like, we're putting our weapons together, and here's the blessing of the lady.
Is it like a Three Musketeers kind of thing?
Yeah, like all for one and one for killing Stedevang.
Except for the 2 thieves who are off.
Right, and neither of those dudes are, super religious. I hate to say it.
Actually, that's a great trade-off. That's the trade-off right there. It's that those guys who aren't there don't get this benefit.
Yeah,
right?
They don't get the benefit. They've got their own tricksy tools and whatnot. And
I'm happy with my poison dog.
Okay, yeah.
So the spear, by the way, that Crespin had is now lost, and he instead will ask blessing on the wrong character sheet, on the sword that we got from the spider that we defeated. That was a fine blade that we found in the room of the lady, which was
was an actual sword, right? Not a short sword, but a sword. Okay.
Yeah, it was a sword. And really finely made, and we felt it was perhaps made for her, and therefore will also be sort of the vengeance of the true family Leget, right? Just, to add a little oomph. And the homegrown Ictrude, humble girl from the village who is now grown up to use her mighty arm in defense of the lady and House Leget, and Gabri, the wanderer whose heart was captured by these fine folk, some of them finer than others.
Snobby heart was captured by somebody.
He likes all the people who are here.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, so, now what's Gabri's weapon?
Well, Gabri has that mace. That mace. that
Okay,
he has,
so mace and 2 swords held up. Crespin does this amazing, and Gabri's kind of like, is Gabri like humming Warrior of Wheat under this, or kind of singing quietly, or does he
singing. So maybe humming underneath, and then once the invocation or sermon has concluded, maybe gaining in strength of
Okay.
Warrior of Wheat.
Great.
And so +1 for having the lady's holy symbol mechanically,
Correct.
+1 for being in the holy place of the lady.
Correct.
And hubris, I think, do we agree this is going to be a 3 for being powerful enough to hurt the dude, Stedevang itself? And then also it's probably 3 weapons, is that right?
I think that, yeah, I think that the 3 weapons is the, yeah, I think that makes sense. That would be 3. So that's -3, takes you down to -1. Right? You're at +2.
Oh yeah,
-3.
-1. Oh, great. And then I'm gonna burn 4 favors, so
Okay.
that'll be this roll would be at +3.
Yep.
All right.
Does just before you do that, yes.
Yeah.
Bob.
Oh no, I was going to say, Jason, you go ahead.
If Gabri or Ictrude has a bond with Crespin, you could burn that now to give a +4. It may not be necessary, but that's the maximum. And you may want to save that bond for later. I'm just pointing out that that's a possibility.
So I do. So I think Crespin has one with me. I don't think actually I have one with him. I was going to say I'm happy to. Quite frankly, I'm happy to add some feeling to Warrior of Wheat to get him to the max of +4.
Okay.
To spend my art just for him.
Actually, you know what? I just realized you don't, because there's a move just called help or hinder. And just when you help, you're able to grant a +1.
Oh,
and
good.
You've already established that you're singing along, so that's perfect. So you're up to the max, which is +4.
Oh, is +4 the max?
Yep.
Okay.
Can't
love
get
it.
higher than that.
Hey, it's great. We're plumbing the little nooks and crannies of the rule system while we're doing it.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
All right, favor the lady. Let's see if she blesses us this evening. Oh, yes, she does. We ended up with a lucky Baker's 13. Natural 9 plus 4.
Okay.
Hey.
Your request is granted with duration 3.
Great. And what are the colors of the lady?
Ooh.
You would think like a green and a brown, like the green of the new shoot and the brown of the leaves falling, something like that.
The only thing it says in the book is a veiled black-haired woman with a white mourning dress carrying a scythe. So black and white are in there,
Black
but
and
yeah,
white.
you can spin it however you want.
Yeah. I think that outwardly nothing changes, but when we each pull the weapons from the altar where they have been blessed, we feel and smell that first spring rain when the shoots are just starting to rise. And that, that the quality of the air and the light and all of that, when you first put your hand around it, you just have that sense almost like some part of you is there.
Oh, I love it. And I think there's that, you draw your swords away and you have that sense and you're smelling that. And Ictrude, you hear some bird song out the window. And when you glance in that direction, perched out on that black mold covered fountain is a black and white bird is perched on the top of that fountain, singing its sort of full throated spring song. And then it flies away.
Ah, beautiful. And then a quick prayer to recharge.
Wisdom or charisma. So charisma taking +1, and you get +2 on top of your charisma bonus.
Okay, yeah, charisma bonus is 0.
Okay.
Because we are not all perfect tools for the work of the lady. Okay, so +2. All right, here we go. Rolling. Oh, thank you. That +2. That gets to an 8.
All right, so you get back 4 favor.
Oh, perfect. All right. We are good. I just erased it because, why wouldn't I? And I just rewrote the number 4 on my character sheet, so it feels legit now. Well, that's my ritual, I guess.
Right. So I guess when our two thieves return to the chapel, Crespin is, at the front, near in front of the statue, in front of the altar, praying, and Allard and Jespar enter and find that scene. What happens next?
Dude, can we say something? What's going on?
My friends, we have perhaps a little extra. We have some knowledge that may be helpful, though not as helpful as we might have heard. The Grenouille Noire that afflicts this place is a spiritual malady and not one of the arcane arts and one of the knowledge-based arts. So it'll be our spiritual companions, noticing you guys, will be maybe the ones that are key to this. However, the librarian Alfray did give us as one magical tool to perhaps use, and we may have a second tool that we will be able to just catch them up on the whole enchanted item magic stuff. We might be able to demagic it. Jason, is that a spell now that Crespin might know, or
he would have to inscribe it in his spell book, but because this is our last session and whatnot, like I think when he casts it, we'll just say it like he folds it into his knowledge base, and then
gotcha. So the scroll's the one off, and the disenchant is dispel enchantment is going to be yeah, well, we'll see what happens.
That one you're going to have to read right out of the book, and it's a big unwieldy book, so just that you're aware of that, right?
Gotcha. So that it'll be a process.
Yeah. But you can, it's totally doable. You got the book with you. But it's unwieldy and maybe hard to pull off in the wrong circumstance.
Gotcha.
I don't know, man. You tuck that scroll at the right page in the big unwieldy book. You use it as a bookmark.
You open them both and cast them both in the same moment.
Yeah, bazanga. Didn't you ever hide a comic book in your calculus text?
Yeah, what was that GURPS thing? Link? Was that it? Where you could preload spells and you could just bing them off one after another?
Yeah.
Anyway, friends, I think we've gleaned what we can, and the moment may be now. The silver dagger did not work against the Duke, but perhaps it will prove more puissant against Stidevant. I have an extra torch if somebody wants one. And I almost feel as if the ever-burning candle is a sepulchral sort of ghost light, and I'm not sure it's going to be, that's the light we want to purge Stidevant.
Well, I've got the usual bullseye lantern. I am leaving Boris on the rope. I'm not carrying him anymore, just in case. Although, I never called that I was immune to the poison, so I did not establish that fact.
That's true.
Also, I just want to point out, I forgot the -1 on my intelligence test to establish.
Okay.
So I spent a luck to get it back.
Oh, thank you for
keeping us on the straight and narrow.
Right. Excellent.
Are you guys
found that in the playback, and
yeah,
it would have been a problem.
Yeah, I'm sure I would have been booted from this campaign.
Jason, Allard has just of note the silver amulet that we picked up in the bedroom of the unfortunate souls, and also still one porcelain plate
in his backpack.
I think the side little pouch.
His little side pouch. Okay, great. So Allard's wearing the amulet, I take it?
Wearing the amulet.
Ever-burning candle in hand.
Ever-burning candle in hand. And I think I've still got the skull of the Lady Seville with me.
In the pouch.
Yeah, I just crossed it off. You kept it.
Yeah.
Okay,
so I know her,
Tabula under one arm, ever-burning candle in the hand.
I think so.
Fair. Okay. Jespar, the dog's back on the leash, and what are you wielding?
Dog's on the leash. Bullseye lantern in one hand, sword in the other.
Okay. Gabri?
I have my lyre, sort of that I'm cradling and sort of strumming on right now, and I have my mace in that strap on my belt.
Okay. Crespin, you've got the sword.
Yeah, this sword is I think it's a long sword. Is that it? Is it a lighter sword?
Yeah, it's a 1d8.
1d8. Okay, gotcha. And weight would I presume be like 1 or 2?
I think I remember what the weight of a sword was. I think it's 1.
Verite is a 2.
Oh, it's 2. It's 2. Yep. Heavy sword.
All right.
And
I got space.
Crespin's got a shield too, right?
Yeah, Crispin's got a shield.
All right. Sword and
And
shield.
the sensor is loaded up, but I think we're holding the sword out at. Well, yeah, we're holding the sword out at this moment. We'll be ready. We'll get the sensor out as because we just went through all this to bless this sword. So
Yeah. So where is the sensor on your person?
sensor is sort of tucked in the belt, kind
Okay.
of attached on the let's see, shield's on the left, so it'd be on the right side.
Okay. So if you needed to like drop your sword and pull
Yeah,
that
you need to
out.
drop the sword
Okay.
and whip out the
Okay.
blessings.
All right. Extrude.
Verite and my shield. I feel like I have a helmet now. Did we, when we got the armor from the
Yeah.
guy, I feel like I'm putting all of that stuff on. doing
Okay.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. One more shot before we
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Before I-
actually, do you mind if we're setting off from the chapel? I assume we're going across the courtyard toward the tower. Is that right?
It's up to you guys.
Yeah.
Sure, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'd say maybe if we keep this up, because that is when Gabri, as we're sort of going across, because the tower is opposite, sort of rising up into the air. That's when Gabri's strumming will become sort of stronger, and I believe
Okay, great.
he's going to perform.
We're not sneaking.
For this group. Well,
Nope.
for right now, and with guts roiling at sort of going across toward this challenge. So he'll start. And should I roll first or should I perform first?
Oh my god. That's a hard why don't we roll first and then and then we'll hear.
Let's see how it comes off.
Yeah.
So I'm performing to play for the audience, everyone within earshot. So 2 of my art, and I get a +1 from my charisma, and then I think from my instrument as well. Yes, so +2.
Okay.
So that gets me to a 7, which I think is fine. I don't think I need to re-roll that, right? Because that.
Because you could re-roll because you.
I could re-roll because I have regain yourself.
Yeah.
But I think that's just fine.
So I don't have the sheet pulled up, but what's
so I'm going to perform backup with a motivating effect.
Okay.
So friendly listeners are going to take a +1 ongoing to every roll they make as I keep playing, and in addition, I can spend my art on your behalf for your class resources. So Gabri is starting to sing this to bolster our spirits, and going to perform as long as he can to keep everyone motivated.
And before you deliver our performance, I will say that Ictrude notices that all around the courtyard up on the second floor, the gutters, there are a number of those black and white birds perched and all looking down the courtyard as you guys stride across it, and Gabri starts his song.
Villagers so brave and bold, the same as with the knights of old. We came as one, and when we're done, our story will be widely told. The fierce and fiery Ictrude, Jesper the vile and oh so lewd, Crispin the saint, Allard the quaint, and I, Gabri the bard so shrewd. With verite aloft ablaze, to the tower we turn our gaze. Death or life, to certain strife, we hope for brighter days.
Woo! Oh my god. Amazing, right? So, and then would the accompaniment as you go just be the strumming of the lute, or would you continue sort of singing under your breath?
Is singing under my breath,
Okay,
and
great.
continuing on. I'm sure for many more
Yeah.
versus
Some of us are humming this, I think.
Yeah. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Extrude, you are in the lead.
Yes, but I want to ask Jaspar about the plan of the dog.
Okay.
Like, shouldn't there be a moment where we send the dog up first?
Yes, we get to the base of the stairs. I send Boris up. And then I act like I'm chasing after Boris, as though he's gotten away from me. And hopefully, in order to foil my plan, to be just a mean, evil guy, the mean, evil guy grabs Boris to keep him from me.
Well, that sounds good. However, what if Boris doesn't want to go up the stairs?
Oh, Boris is a good boy. Boris will go where I tell him.
Is your plan to go up the exterior stairs to the second floor entrance to the tower, or are you going to go in the bottom of the tower and then up those stairs?
In the bottom of the tower and up those stairs.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's right, because there was a gang at the top of the other stairs, and we didn't seem to run into any problems on the curved stairs.
Right.
Right. In the
Right.
tower.
Exactly.
And that gang has seen 2 of their fellows healed. So maybe in their poor, sick, diseased hearts, there's some thought that, salvation may be there for them, maybe stays their hand a little bit. And we did drag the 2 poor guys who were unconscious into the ladies' chapel in hopes that it will delay their recorruption long enough for us to
great.
Yeah.
The other possibility is I could sneak up there quietly and send Boris, once I'm in the room, send Boris to the
I think that makes more sense. I think if you're following Boris and trying to get Boris back, Boris is just going to run to you. If you send Boris into the room somehow,
yeah.
Well, I feel like Boris has probably done some, if Boris doesn't have a few tricks he's been taught by Jaspar to go into the tavern and grab somebody's sandwich, I would be surprised.
Yeah, I mean Boris.
He's a working dog.
Yeah, we've got a couple of cons worked out. There's the go cute, right, where he just stares at people with his big puppy dog eyes, and that's what the go cute trick. He's gonna run up to the lich and go cute with his big puppy dog eyes, and then they generally pick him up and pet him, and the usual con is I come and I say thank you so much for catching my runaway puppy. You've been a fabulous help. And as I'm gathering Boris back into my arms, I might lift a pouch or 2. You see what I'm saying?
So you're saying this in a loud whisper to Ictrude at the bottom of the stairs. In this room, I will remind you, it looks like some kind of council chamber with the big chairs around this table. So that's been explained to Ictrude that Boris has that capacity.
Yeah. So
Ictrude's like, oh, wait, I arrested somebody because of... I thought you were innocent, but wait, this is...
It was all for... This has brought us to this moment. It was all in the sight of the lady. If I had not done those things, we would not be able to triumph today. So I am going to move silently up to the top of the stairs.
You're going for it.
I'm going for it. Let's kick in the door and rock and roll.
Okay, you don't have to roll for that. You go ahead, you do it. You move silently up to the top of the stairs. Let me change the map here.
I am ready to roll.
Come on, baby.
For my move silently and possibly use cunning if I need it.
Big money, big prizes.
Map is not changing. Hold on a second. Let me try again. Come on, Owlbear.
Bob, is there a way to get your songs on Spotify or like a playlist or?
Yeah, there's yeah, we're working out what the licensing fees look like. They just wanted to give me a
'Cause
nickel.
I could tape 2 nickels to a postcard, and that probably covers you for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Grossly undervalued, though, man. It's art.
I know,
Beautiful.
I know. It's hard business.
I'm sure there's like a way we can go back and like rip all your performances off of these recordings.
They have been a total delight. I guess.
Oh,
Really,
absolutely.
I don't know how you don't spend all week trying to figure out what you're going to sing.
Hey, we just have such a lively pregame conversation.
That's
that
all
I'm
you're
able
doing
to
is
jot
write-
down my notes and.
So you're ignoring us and writing songs. So we're trying to talk.
I know that's the secret
Yeah.
I've just revealed.
Okay. So
And just
here we
like
are.
before, I'm gonna there. I believe I hid behind this, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
So that's where I'm going for.
So you got Boris on the leash. He's quietly trotting up the stairs behind you.
Yeah.
You don't have to roll to move silently. Nobody's listening for people to come up those stairs.
Okay.
So you get up there, and everybody remember the scene in this room? Does everybody need a
Yes.
refresher about
The
what we're
dude
doing?
Refresher
was
would
in
be
the chair. The other dude was over here. The guy who stole Boris.
Was it our very first session that this happened?
It was close to the beginning, yeah.
In a second.
So just as a quick reminder, there's the ornate chair that the figure that Cedarvang was seated in. The western half of the chamber, the part that you're entering, is devoted to shelves lined with books, 2 scroll racks, several long work tables, all of the expected alembics, crucibles, retorts, and other alchemical accoutrements, covered by cobwebs and dust. Apparently, a lot of this stuff has not seen use in a while. So there's like a whole bunch of stuff kind of jumbled. It's like the classic kind of jumbled, crazy, crammed area back there that you're kind of creeping through now at this moment. So you're alongside this work table.
Okay. If I'm like sneaking along back here, is it a table that you can see underneath, or is it like
It's like it's a long enough table. There's like a number of like kind of trestle or like crossed beams to kind of support it. So it's, if somebody was low, they could see underneath it, but a standing person in most places in that room, unless they were standing far enough away, would not be able to see you creeping behind it.
Okay. So I slip the rope off of Boris's neck.
Okay.
And I give him the command, be cute. Go be cute. Go be cute.
Okay. And and you set him on, so he's already on the ground. You give him the command. When you set him on the ground, you feel that the hairs on your arm kind of like tingle, stand up a little bit, right? Almost like a goosebumpy kind of thing. And you smell ozone.
Uh-oh.
And you actually see Boris's hair kind of, prickle a little bit too. He doesn't turn into like a fuzzball, but you see like some of the hair kind of has an active reaction to something. So you notice that.
Go. But mine does too.
Just a little bit, yeah. In both cases, it's just a little bit. You're just noticing this like something in the air.
Okay.
Like after a thunderstorm.
Like after a thunderstorm.
Yeah, right. You've been in the woods a lot. It's a familiar. Earlier you smelled spring, and now you feel like post thunderstorm.
Okay, I quickly slip the rope back on him. Because I can't do this to Boris. Send him to be electrocuted or something.
What?
And I'm gonna move silently to here.
Okay, with Boris in hand.
Well, pull, with Boris short leashed.
Close. Got it. Okay, so you creep along to the edge of that table. So, and are you kind of peering?
Yes.
Under the table or around the corner to get a good look?
Under the table first, if I can get a good look that way, and if not, I will peer around the edge of the table. whichever way will give me a look.
Yeah, so we get the panning shot along the ground, like with the table legs kind of crossing in the foreground, and then in the background you see this wooden kind of throne that's been set up, covered sloppily in gold leaf, and you see the robed bare feet, bare kind of skeletal feet resting at the foot of that throne. So you don't really get a good look at the figure. You do see that one, the arm on the arm of the chair.
But there's no like, he's not like playing with sparks in his hands.
No,
or
he
anything.
appears to just be sitting there.
Okay.
And when you peer around the corner to get a better look, so you're like, you kind of peer around the corner, and Cedavang is seated like this, and this is the first time you get a look at his face. So it's like, it's like all the skin is drawn against his skeleton. His eyes are sunken back into his head, but he's looking right at you. So when you peer around the corner, he's already kind of looking in your direction, and he has like a little a smile on his face.
Okay. I slip the rope off of Boris again and go, be cute.
Oh my God, Boris. Oh my God.
If he sees me, he liked Boris last time.
He did like, no, that's not the question. The question is Boris is now being asked to approach this guy.
Yeah.
He was not asked to do that before. You're going to have to roll for that.
Okay.
And I think you're trying to, you're negotiating with Boris to get him to approach Cedavang, the former vizier here.
Boris was held and treated nicely by this hideous creature.
Yeah, right. But still here, Boris is like facing this thing. I think that to obey his master in the face of this creature is something else.
Okay, is that a charisma?
That's either, so negotiate is either strength to intimidate, intelligence to appeal to their sense of reason, or charisma to
I'll go with charisma because
Okay.
it's a 0.
You're not going to draw like a little scratchy thing on the ground, like explaining like doing the plot.
Go ahead.
go for it. Roll charisma to negotiate.
You get a +1.
I
Or no,
get a
you're not
+1.
listening to me right now. You're not listening to the song. So
Okay.
I mean, right. The song's kind of thrumming along downstairs. I mean, he's close to the stairs. He can hear the
It's
song.
an
He can hear
earworm
the
in the
song.
back of my head.
He can hear. He's look at him. He's right at the edge of the stairs. The stairs are open. He can hear the song. Yeah.
Okay. A 4. Boris is having none of it.
So you get to mark charisma.
Because that'll come in handy.
And it says, and on a 6 or less, mark the ability used, and they'll have none of it. Just like you just said. Time to try another approach. So yeah, but you said a nice. So go cute, and he sort of like takes one step forward, and then he looks back at you with the most. Where he goes cute on you.
Oh, okay.
Like with the most like, Papa.
Okay.
Oh no, you're going to have to pet him.
I don't wanna.
Okay. So I go, okay.
And Cedavang raises one hand. He's still
Okay.
looking at you. He's kind of that happens. The dog turns around, and Cedavang kind of like tilts his head like this, and raises one hand.
Okay. And I'm like, I'm like, I wave back to Cedavang.
Okay.
What else am I gonna do?
you can throw Boris at him.
Great.
Yeah,
So,
fling
so-
the dog.
so you're
Fling the
like
puppy.
you're leaning up by the table, and you're like, "Hi."
Yeah, pretty much. Hi.
He goes, so he sort of does this, and then he goes like this with his hand, and in front of you, actually it's Boris is right there with you. So in front of you, between you and Cedavang, this it looks like, with a mirage, the way a mirage makes the background kind of shimmer.
Yeah.
This shimmering shape kind of materializes between you and Cedavang, so you can still see him through it, but it's like this shimmering shape that kind of extends in kind of like it's not just up and down, it kind of extends like this, like a curved shape in front of you, kind of expands and grows, and now it's kind of like, there's part of it above you and part of it kind of moving towards Boris.
Oh no.
What do you do next?
I'm gonna well, okay, is this section of the stairs like, can I just drop down onto the stairs?
Yep.
Then I drop down onto the stairs. It's like, come on, Boris.
Okay, great. That is a bit of a drop though. It is like from that position. So
Okay.
you can do it, but you'll have to roll dex to avoid taking 1d6 damage.
Okay. Well, that didn't go well.
Oh no.
I think I'm twisting my ankle on the
Oh
fall.
no. We've had our first casualty of the day.
What'd you get?
5
And the song gives you up to 6,
gets me up to
and you
6.
could spend luck if you want to get a 7.
Gets me to 7. Is this considered stealth?
No.
I think he was looking right at you when you basically fell backwards into the stairwell. So no.
Okay, I'll spend luck. I'm down to 3. Does that give me a -3 on luck?
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay.
And in fact, the sort of tag associated with you now is doomed.
Well,
It's a fair cop.
When you have a 3 luck, yeah.
how do I get rid of one of these dice?
Get rid of one of what dice?
The
Oh,
dice.
in the owlbear.
Yeah,
Don't know.
There's
I think you just hit the little X in the lower left-hand corner.
X. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
so
At a
I'm
3,
gonna-
you're only cursed. At 0, you're doomed.
Oh,
Okay.
you're just
Yeah,
cursed.
you're just cursed.
So I guess I'm
Break the
rolling
curse.
damage on myself.
I think because you got a 7, I'm gonna let you roll 2d6 and take the lower die as damage.
Oh, okay. Boop. And now I'm gonna roll 1.
Okay, great.
Hey,
So
working the low dice, Dean. Well done.
Jaspar falls into view, clutching. Perhaps it's like his concern for Boris's safety that makes him land poorly. Bangs is.
Where's the rest of them? Are they still out in the courtyard? What the
No.
fuck?
No. They're right down below.
Hey, we're waiting for the signal.
I just hadn't put them in place because you guys are on the. That was a
okay.
map of the second floor.
Yeah.
So just imagine them being here on the.
Crespon was
Okay.
just whispering to Ichtrude. He's taking a little bit of time.
I look
It's
back.
going well.
I look back and say, he knows we're here.
Can I just
Okay,
say that
let's
after
go.
all these sessions, we're going the full Ghostbusters. Get 'em, Ray.
There we go.
There we go. What do the kids
Ichtrude's
say?
gonna-
Let's go.
She's gonna bang her way up the stairs.
Picture's going up the stairs. All right.
Yep.
Here we go.
Stepping over my hobbling body.
Gabri, are you going second or
The
is
poison puppy gambit has failed.
It seemed like a winner, really.
So if you guys are able to manipulate your little figure there, that would
okay.
be, that'd be
Oh,
great
great.
if you could do that.
Gabri, are you going second because of your love of Ichtrude, or is Crespon going second as the strong left hand of?
The strong left hand of the lady, I would imagine.
All right, I'm with you.
I'll play the backup to you.
Boris
I'll
is still
go
up
third.
there.
Oh no!
Oh, you didn't bring Boris down with you?
Oh, I thought he
I
came
did
down with
not.
you. Oh, okay. I think what he does is he runs back along the stairs, and then as Ichtrude is coming up, Boris runs down to his master.
Okay.
Crespon uses a potion of giant size.
Yeah, no, seriously, I was like, well, in the eyes of the lady, haha.
Okay,
That would be useful.
So
I'm
Gabri
hoping
is-
that,
Gabri is strumming and singing.
Maybe Allard sneaks up on the other side. Oh no, Allard's a wizard now. That should be Jaspar sneaking
I'm a
up
wizard
on the
now.
other
Oh,
side.
whoops, wrong hat. Well, actually, I don't think Allard's probably going to have the ever burning candle lit. Allard will sneak if available, but yeah, right now we've got the candle in the one and the book in the other.
All right.
and I look at Boris and I'm like, what am I going to do with you? I still love you.
And actually, to be clear, Rob, there is no sneaking up the other side. That other set of stairs on the ground level actually goes down. And on this level, it goes up. So there's a third floor to this tower.
Oh, okay,
So
right,
that stairs across from you actually goes up to the top floor of the tower.
Okay, got it.
All right, and everybody has that same feeling of like smelling a thunderstorm as they come up those stairs, and Ictrude rounds that table standing.
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about the weird void thing he conjured.
Oops.
Is that still visible?
No, it's not.
Ictrude is going
It
to
was nothing. It's just stupid.
demand he surrender.
Oh.
Yourself. In the name of the lady. And the power of the village.
Hmm.
Can Ictrude like move a little more into the room so we can kind of all get up the stairs?
Coming through here, make some room. If you would make such a demand, my dear, perhaps you should make it to my face, please. And he gestures towards the front of the room so that you can proceed to the front side of the throne.
Oh, right, because I'm behind him.
That's right. Sorry. Yeah, he's facing away from you, and the back of the throne, goes up a couple feet above his head, actually.
I'm going back to my spot.
Does he
Maybe he can't move.
So this is the first time Ictrude's seen him. He's an old man, or is he like a skeleton?
He is like a skeleton still covered with some desiccated flesh. So there's like sinew, and there are areas of exposed bone. He's just like clearly not a
living person.
Not a living. I mean, I don't know what Ictrude's experience with the non-living is, but
She spots skeletons.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. So it seems connected to that. Absolutely.
But he speaks as if he was a human, like as if he's still alive, like clearly speaking to her.
Yes. Oh yes. Definitely not like a mindless undead kind of thing.
Well, that seems like a trap to walk out into the front of the room, but we have sneaky people that may make use of that. So we will round, like pointing her sword at him the whole time.
Okay, great. So she rounds in front, and as you come around, he's kind of looking at you and smiling.
So I'll point Verite right at his chest.
And everybody else is behind, is that right? Just so clear.
Chris is will kind of be.
I'm peeking around the edge of the table.
I need light. Yeah, get free.
Yep.
He's gonna large marge you, man.
Ictrude will say,
"We're old."
Show me your hands.
Sort of holds them like this.
Boo!
Really, you've done quite well. I'm impressed.
I will pull out my shackles.
Pull out your shackles.
Yes.
He's kind of like raises his eyebrows.
I'm gonna bust him.
Are you taking me to jail?
I am. I'll reach. Oh, well, hold on. Am I going to do this? So I have my sword and my shield. But this guy doesn't have a weapon.
He does not appear to have. Let me think for a second. What you see on him is he's wearing 3 gold necklaces.
He's got the bling.
He's got Lord Leget's signet ring on his ring finger. And 4 gold necklaces. One of them is just set with these like very ostentatious blue gems. And he does not appear to be holding any weapons of any kind. And he's wearing his vizier's cap, which has been it's got some gold coins kind of sloppily sewn onto it.
You are a pretender. I sheathe Verite.
Sheathe Verite, okay.
and grab, with one end of the manacles and reach down for one of his hands to like slap manacle onto his hand. And she's done this many times to people in the village. This is her job.
Right. So she's going to cuff him.
Yes.
It's become a French procedural.
Criminal.
Will
Okay.
we be able to cope with the change in genre? We won't know. Let's find out.
So you're gonna try to just like quickly and efficiently.
Yes.
You can roll either I think strength or dexterity.
Strength. So that's a +2. I have my dice ready to go.
Plus
Plus
one for
an
the
extra
song.
one.
Yep.
All right, so +3 total. Because the song is still being played.
Oh, it's still going.
Could I like? No, I'll save that.
If you have a move, you can make it using.
No, I rolled well. I got a 10, so that's a 13.
Okay. So you move in, and is it like a two hand, like one cuff in each hand, kind of like a how do you do that? Do you do one first with sword?
No, so like shield's still on my arm, but my hand's free.
Yeah.
And so with my shield arm, I grab onto like his right hand, and with my right hand, like slap
the cuff
on so that it closes automatically. And then with the idea being, then I reach over to the other hand. I've never actually cuffed anybody in real life, but I'm sure it's just like this.
Okay, great. Especially with medieval manacles, right? You've never done that.
That's right.
I'm sure that they closed and snapped together.
Yeah, you have to insert 5 iron pins with a hammer.
Hold on,
like
I'll heat up the forge.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, so you do it, and you see Extrude, the village constable, slap irons on the undead vizier of Lord Leget. Bang, and Leget doesn't move. Like you do that, he kind of goes, oh, watches you do it. And then you realize, my dear, that I've been in prison all along. You may try to remove me from these grounds, but Grenouille Noir may not allow it.
I will.
Wait, we're talking to the wrong dude.
I will. Probably the librarian all along. I will grab the cuffs, and haul him to his feet if I can.
Yeah, so you haul him to his feet, and he's standing there in his long purple robe with golden embroidery all over it, and he just kind of like shakes his head. And starts to say some words in a language you don't understand.
Stop!
And
La 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 la.
I will turn to Crispon and say, "This was easy. What do we have to worry about?"
Oh, God.
And he's got his hands cuffed, and he sort of was he facing? You've got him standing up, and you're facing him, right?
Yes, yeah.
And he lifts his hands up inside the cuffs in like a kind of like claw-like gesture. That's now wonderful. So Allard, you're definitely getting some vibes.
Yeah. So Allard is going to even momentarily consider danger. Sense danger. I'm gonna consider situation, however briefly. I'm assuming the biggest threat is the dude chanting
Oh yeah.
Magic stuff.
He's about to do something.
Okay. Crespon will also, though Trude's got the right, she could use, but Crespon will attempt to kind of shout over him and invoke the lady to purify
You want to purify him?
I think so.
All right, that's going to be
A big roll.
That's gonna be like
No, that may not be the sort of thing that I don't want to solve this that
you
way.
could do it. You could do it. It just would be hubris 3. I mean, in a way, you'd be. Oh no, restore, destroy matter. Well, yeah. Are you trying to?
Yeah, I think it'd be astonishing, probably.
Yeah.
Now, Crespon should recall that through the power of Gabri's supporting song, Gabri can bolster
Oh,
his moves.
gotcha.
Now, I don't know if there's what sort of cap there is on that,
What
but
if you just convert
I
it?
have 3 fun points ready to feed into anyone's hopper.
All right, let's see what we can do, because I don't think we want this skull going off in Trude's face. We've made it. I don't even want to say the word casualty. Let's at least try it.
So you're trying to restore. Yeah, describe exactly what you're trying to accomplish here.
I am trying to purge Le Grenouille Noir and cure its disease upon this wretched sufferer before.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be hubris 4.
Hubris 4. All right, so let's see. Hubris 4. So roll minus hubris. Okay, so and I'm going to start off at -4. If I bear my holy symbol, so now it's -3. And I'm not in a sacred place, so we're rolling this at -3. I am going to burn favor to make this +1.
Okay.
Is there a max on
I
how
think
much
+4
can be fed in?
is the max roll.
+4 is the max roll. So, and Bob, you can. The text of the move, I think, says you can spend your art
On their behalf.
If you have 3 art left, you can spend it all on this roll.
Yep, I will.
That's a +4 to the roll.
All right. Well, I mean, I noticed that it is 10:30.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's good.
And plus, he's already in manacles. Like, Trude's done the tough thing. All right. Survey says, here we go. Boom. Oh, I think we 12'd him. I think we 12'd him.
You 14'd him.
So you're
Did I 14? No, just +4.
So he like.
Oh, sorry.
And what does that look like when Crespon does that?
Calling out in the name of the lady. The hand with the shield is gripping the tear, channeling, which is right next to his heart. And the sword of the stricken Lady Leget is is pointed towards him. And by the lady's infinite mercy and grace, let us clear these fields of this dark illness and purify this sufferer, cleanse him of all sins, and restore him to the humanity that he so callously traded away, and purge Grenouille Noir and all its works from this sufferer.
And Gabri's song swells with the words to provide the underpinning of whatever sort of hymn he's transitioned to.
Man, if my puppy would have worked, it would have been.
Puppy was awesome. Puppy was better, frankly. It's really cool.
And is Crespon doing this like a fire and brimstone kind of preacher? Is it like a kind of lilting, kind of song-like kind of thing? How does it sound?
Oh, no, fire and brimstone is pretty close to it. We have to remember Crespon's origin is a town crier. So he's got lungs. Do you know what I mean? There's not a lot of modulation, not a lot of tremolo. This is like boom, all bass, big stentorian, but with all, genuine sincerity. Like, he believes this more than he's ever believed anything in his life.
So he turns, he's standing in front of Victrude and he's doing this thing and speaking these words. And then you start talking, and this look of like, he's just seemed kind of amused up until this point. And this look of like, kind of like appalled anger, kind of like, how dare you, kind of comes over his face. And he turns with his hand still like this and still talking, and he's facing you directly. And he's like raising his hands up, and he's trying to raise the volume of his voice, but he doesn't have the like, it's all kind of
not lungs anymore.
So he's like, and Trude, you're aware of over everybody's head in the room, these kind of glowing white claw-like shapes have kind of materialized over everybody's head, as if you guys were all little toys in one of those crane games where you try to
Oh,
grab the
yeah.
claws. So
Oh God.
Extrude, you're kind of you sort of see that happening. Crespan's voice and Gabri's song, raises to this crescendo, and you speak that last word, and whatever that last word was, and that
Amen.
strum of the lute happens, and through all three of the little arrow slit windows around the chamber, those black and white birds pour into the room. Like there's like just a flurry of flapping wings and feathers, and they swarm onto him.
Boris
Okay, so,
starts
like-
barking.
Boris starts barking. They flock into the room and land on him rapidly until he's completely covered in this like rapid kind of flapping of wings. It's just like a blur of activity. Everybody's like, these things are materializing, and they actually start sort of descending, and then there's a flash of light, and the birds are totally gone. They've disappeared, and there is an emaciated old man in robes too big for him standing there in front of Extrude, and he's smaller than the figure you noticed before, and he shrinks even more than he was, and the cuffs actually fall off of his wrists and go clank on the ground, and he still looks in really, really bad shape, but he's clearly returned to human form, and he still is sort of staring at Crespin, and then it goes to say something, and the claws disappear, and he goes, "Ah!" and just collapses in a heap on the ground.
Stab him.
Beat the sword, reach out, pick him up, try to comfort him in some way and make sure he's going to be okay.
Like a little
Yeah, like a little pieta.
like you sit on the edge of the right side, the east side. There is a kind of recessed floor, so you sit down on the edge of the floor, and you hold Cedar Vang's unconscious form in your arms.
Now cut his throat.
He must still answer for his crimes.
Oh, but of course, but he is now has a chance to make some better choices. But has this changed anything, my friends?
Well, I'll go look out the window, the arrow slit windows, and look at the. Is the ground still blackened? Is there any change on the building?
Any light?
There's light coming down through the clouds, definitely. The black mold has not disappeared, and I fear our villagers may have to return at some future unknown date if they truly want to purge
I'm gonna case the joint.
the manor.
Anything valuable.
Absolutely.
Well, real quick, Jaspar, you run up those stairs to the top floor,
Ooh.
and I'll tell you that on the where are we? The top floor it's just one big room, and it's clearly his quarters. So there's a substantial four-poster bed with elaborate alchemical diagrams painted on the ceiling above it. There's books on the bedside table, atop one of which lies some kind of wand covered in frost. There's a ladder-back chair piled up with stuff, jars of dried out rancid milk paint, stiff paintbrushes, a flaking pile of gold leaf. A side table opposite the bed, sloppily covered with gold leaf, holds a strange display. The stone head of a statue, alongside a human skull, both of which are festooned with crimson candles.
I'm gonna grab both.
Great.
We can put Leget to rest, maybe. Skull and statue skull.
And we can just, is there anything else anybody want to do here in the mansion before we cut to epilogues?
I think Allard would just want to look for knowledge-based stuff, and might be a chance to try out the. Maybe we have to return to purge the Duke who still wanders the basement.
Yeah, I got a skull now.
Yeah, because we could dispel that. Try to dispel that skull. Actually, that may be what's anchoring the Duke to this realm, and we've got a disenchant ritual we can do.
Right.
I
You may
think-
not
I
even have
think-
to face him.
Yeah, and Gabri would I don't know if he'd fight Allard for this, but if there's some sort of journal or record, there's a grand epic he's trying to think of that he'd want some background material.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think Ictrude, not Ictrude, I'm so sorry, Crespin, it feels like a real bond with Gabri, and hopefully vice versa, that this lost lamb has come to the flock and in our moment of need put us over the top, and it was pretty great. So definitely feeling some of that. Yeah, I mean, the knowledge-based stuff Allard would take with him. Crespin is, actually going to be really gentle with Stedefan, and try to make sure he makes it back alive.
Great. There's all kinds of stuff in this room. Like there's bookshelves full with books, and Allard and Gabri kind of are, looking over them. Among them are A Natural History of Ooze, Witchcraft in the Western Reach, The Book of Bones and Dust, and various other titles like that, many of which Allard is sure contain spells that might be of interest to him. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff in that room as well that you guys maybe come back later for. I don't know. It's up to you.
Turn to
Gold.
the Duke.
Silver.
And well, as far as, let's see, Jaspar would have
Liberated those necklaces and collars. I'm
Yes,
sure.
right.
hell yeah.
Right.
Okay, yeah, there you go. All those collars. There's various jugs and jars that you might be interested in. There's a big jug about 3 feet high with like 12 different stoppers kind of on its surface all over it, corked stoppers that seems of potential interest.
I could make one.
Oh,
one
and
man
Allard
jump
up
in.
on the bedside table. One of the books on the bedside table is Cedevang's spell book, so it actually has all of his.
Oh, nice. All right. Exciting.
Also, I got this really cold wand. You want this?
Oh yeah.
It's not
Alright.
gold, so I don't care. But I'm keeping the skulls.
So the manor is still corrupted, but that would be up to our heroes to deal with that task at some future date.
That basement calls.
The
Yeah.
basement calls.
Apparently.
And we'll pull the 2 guys out of the chapel and Stedevang himself. And so we've reclaimed, I think, 4 souls.
It's pretty amazing the number of people we have not killed.
Yeah.
In this dungeon.
Like D&D in the modern age.
No
That's right.
kidding.
Save the people. And there's a return to the village. And then we can get a little short moment from each character's life at some point in the future after this conclusion, whatever point you wish. When it could be the very next day, it could be far in the future. Some little moment or scene where we see each of you engaged in whatever you may be engaged in. Like how do things go for these people? Kevin, do you want to start with Ella or Crespin?
Sure. I think Sister Rose, Sister Cecile, she's not the youngest person, and after a certain amount of wandering, Crespin returns to the village where he first started out and becomes, in his elder years, the local administrator of the lady local priest, and the stories of his, and he actually ends up, there's a small monastery that comes up for the ladies' worship as young kids come to learn from those who cleanse the Le Grimoire, and then some of the other scourges in southeastern France.
Oh, great. Southeastern France. That's where we are. Awesome. Yeah, so we'll say that tells me that you guys did succeed in what you did was you ventured into the basement and found the idol in a cave through a secret passage, and were swarmed by vermin and evil spirits and other creatures, and managed to destroy the idol and banish Grenouille Noir from the lands. this monastery and the new following that Crispin has is testament to that successful clearing of the house. How about Jespar?
Jaspar, you see in a large city with a full-grown Boris at his side. Well, actually, Boris seems to be jumping up and licking the face of a wealthy noble as Jaspar rushes in and apologizing profusely, pulls Boris away and dusts the dirt away from the noble's lapels and such. Meanwhile, lifting his watch chain, his pouch, his wallet, and anything else he can get away from, and or get away from the guy, and apologizing profusely for his beast of a dog. He goes walking away, and the noble, "Oh my God, thief!" And Jaspar takes off, and it is a merry chase through alleys, and at the as it twists and turns, he calls upon the powers of a god.
Ooh.
And a gateway opens in a wall, and he and Boris step through.
Ooh.
And he tips his hat to the heavens and disappears.
Voip. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
He's still a bad thief, but he's a better chaos cleric.
Back to Kevin for Allard.
It is at some indeterminate point in the future. Allard is in a big city, maybe it's Paris, in a museum, like an archive-y kind of library, talking to the one of the archivists to explain that, oh, because of the sensitive nature of these books, we can't actually bring it out of the glass case. And I appreciate you've come all this way, but it under no circumstances will we be able to leave it. Allard sighs and says, but of course we have to preserve this knowledge, but maybe you could just let me look at the covers for a little bit here. And oh, of course, the guy goes off and Allard takes from his sleeve a lockpick.
Oh, terrible combination, wizard and thief.
Can't quit.
In my original multi-class rules, instead of just each class had a separate multi-class move for different classes they could. And I think the thief wizard combination was like menace to society was the name of the move.
That's perfect.
Sounds about right.
Thank you. Rob, how about Extrude?
Well, let's see. Extrude, the village just isn't big enough or exciting enough for her. She leaves and she becomes sort of a traveling marshal. Like a big step up from the old constable. She's still not. She was always kind of a loner, so she kind of works on her own. But she's not a bounty hunter. Like, she works for whatever towns or villages need her aid.
So is it the spin-off show like a Kung Fu or an Incredible Hulk, where every week she's in a different town, like helping?
Yeah, exactly. And we kind of the end of the episode is there's this new menace along this forest where there's this old temple, and there's rumors of a chaos priest or cult that she has to track down and bring to justice.
Perfect. Thank you. And Gabri, where do we catch up with Gabri?
Gabri, after the conclusion of the purging of the manor, set to work on a songbook that reflected the sort of the expansive repertoire he had assembled to this point, cataloging the adventures of this band from start to finish, that he called The Legend of Leget. And this songbook, he, like the others, left, brought it to the bigger cities, and to this day, the various songs like Slimy Slangy Seedavang and The Warrior of Wheat, especially The Rat Among Mice and Ichtrude the Brave, The Mighty Clackers, are still sung in various settings, both high and low, throughout the expansive land. Like, it's been picked up and brought to many different cities. But Gabri himself, after bringing this songbook out and expecting it to provide him some sense of satisfaction, never took to the cities, never found connection there, and never found satisfaction in how popular this book was. And after a number of years sort of wandering around, went back to Leget and came back to this humble village and found there none of his compatriots. They had all gone on to bigger and brighter things. And this elf, this sort of one-eyed elf, shows up, and nobody remembers him there. This is this sort of legend of these people. Nobody believes in the big cities that the legend of Leget, it's a work of fiction. And even here, sort of the memory fades of the people who were involved in this, the larger than life. And so when this one-eyed elf shows up,
Like no half mask?
No half mask, and takes up the old ferry line, plying Robinette's old raft up and down the river, delivering pears and brandy from the village, and living out the rest of his days sort of in quiet contemplation among the simple folk of Leget.
Awesome. Thank you. And as the credits roll, I think, Warrior of Wheat, performed by Ariana Grande.
You are a warrior.
Exactly. That's the credits roll up. That's great.
That's right.
That is quite perfect.
Woo! All right.
Thank you, Jason, so much.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah,
Jason.
seriously, that was lovely.
This was the longest one shot ever.
Hey, I never said it was going to be a one shot. I said, do you guys want to start a campaign? I just didn't expect the entire campaign to start with it. No, you're right. It was like a funnel. You're right. No, it was a funnel that maybe it'll turn into a campaign, but it actually turned out that the funnel was a campaign.
It was a funnel campaign.
I didn't expect it to.
We did this instead of Twilight Imperium 4.0 this year.
That's right. That's right.
Oh,
wonderful.
I've had my first
about
shot.
The same length.
Dean, have you had your first shot?
I have.
I have also had my first shot. I got
Congratulations.
it 2 years ago, so.
April 14th is my second.
I think the 16th is mine.
And I'm a little worried about the second is the one that hits you hard if it's going to hit you.
First one was fine.
So I had an achy arm. That's it.
It'll be good. You guys will feel better.
Hey,
Jason, was there anything that we took the wrong route or was surprised?
Well, it's really interesting because I've played, I've been playtesting this for a number of years now, actually.
Yeah.
You guys definitely were the only group that did the sort of room by room thing, which is very old school. So it was great to see that.
That's us.
Totally us.
I'm trying to think if there's anything like like there was that one jug of wine that you guys found.
Yeah, which nobody wanted to drink.
It was actually a healing wine.
Oh, I tasted it, but it had an odd taste, so I spat it right out.
So that would have actually healed you if you drank it. The whistle that Ichtrude had, if you blew that would summon the Leget's spectral hound, who would actually serve you because you're of what alignment are you?
That was good.
You're good, yeah. So Fu, the spectral hound, would have actually been your loyal companion. Of course, probably wouldn't have gone along with Boris, but
That is a terrible
But we're
shame.
so
that I didn't do that.
terrified of everything that we're not going to try anything.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Which is great. That's exactly
Which is true
the way-
peasant.
Yeah.
True peasant. You guys did all that, everything the way that one should. Nobody had ever encountered the specter of Lord Leget before, so that was super interesting, especially the
Ooh.
way it happened with the ground
That was
collapsing.
great.
Oh my god, that was an amazing
Well, because
scene.
nobody's going to step on the weekend part of the
Yeah,
story.
yeah, who's gonna do that?
It's right out there.
That was-
In the basement, there was like a bunch of beetle tunnels, and then like as I mentioned, there's like a secret tunnel that leads to where the idol is. There are some ghouls down there. The biggest threat in the basement was the specter, except for that once you get to the idol and you try to destroy the idol, like all the vermin in the house kind of attack you. So that would have been.
So
yeah,
I'm curious if we would have given the specter his skull back, would that have dispelled him or made it worse?
The way, so that's not written, the way the scenario is written is very open. It's just like, here are the things, and then
Okay.
you end up drawing connections between them, and each GM gets to kind of like make those decisions. Because of the ways it had gone so far, what happened was you were like, I'm gonna light the bones on fire, and I'm like, oh well, that's not the problem is not the bones. The problem is that he's been separated from his skull. So in this case, because of the way that played out, yes, if you had brought him if you'd reunited his skull with his bones, his skeleton was still intact down there.
Yeah.
It just, covered in black ash. That would have laid him to rest. Yeah.
And
Or
his skull was
what if
on
we'd
the
have
top of the
smashed the
tower.
skull? I mean, that was my other thought.
I think if you smash the skull, I think I might have made you get lucky to see if that would do the job. But
Yeah.
my feeling would be that would be like a desecration, and he
Yeah.
would probably,
Yeah.
it would probably
He would
curse him
piss him
forever
off.
to be a specter.
Yeah.
Yeah. That might break the line, make him forever a bad guy. Cedarvang's, when he kind of has a chance to talk and is not arrested right offhand, generally tries to convince people to he tries to intimidate people because he has all these powers, which were quickly snuffed out by Donoviev. But he tries to kind of convince people to go destroy the idol and set him free. He tries to strike a deal with the villagers and say, look, I'll tell you where some cool things in the manor are. You go get rid of Grenouille Noir. That'll lift the curse on me. But the twist there is that then once he's free, he goes and he's a necromancer basically. So he goes and just tries to turn the village into his army of undead.
He seemed
so
like he
he
was
really-
trying to kill us.
Yeah. Well, he's a very because this was like the climax. I just wanted him to like take aggressive action.
Okay.
Yeah, the spell that he was about to cast on you when you fell down the stairs is called. So the spells for the NPCs work just like the spells for PCs, right? So that spell was Inescapable Mouth. If you remember the specter, the kind of phantasm of the priest in the chapel, the way half of his body disappeared, that's because Inescapable.
Oh, the mouth.
Yeah. His other spells were Ensorceling Salt. I played one session where he turned a villager into salt. That was really fun. Cedarvang's Cerulean Will, Blinding Claw, and that's the one that he was pulling.
Yeah.
He was trying to blind you all. Call Vermin and Servant of Bones. Those were his spells.
So did you find any other playtests that individuals would either drive toward a particular goal or would connect with Cedarvang and then sort of be rerouted down to the idol?
Nobody has made it to the idol. Just because like most of the sessions I played were brief intentionally. So like and I'm trying to think of when people have met up with him, generally they ran screaming from the building. When they met up with Cedarvang. So nobody's actually in my game so far, nobody, and I'm just playing them out naturally. I'm not like saying, let's play test this, everybody start here. I have had some people outside folks who've done it who have ended up you can actually get to the idol if you go to the mire, which is the swamp outside in the countryside. There's a tunnel there that leads right to the underground. You can get into the manor that way, and I had some people took a group in that way and went right to the idol. And I can't remember if they succeeded or not, but like the very first thing they did was they entered the cave where the idol was and got attacked by vermin and whatnot.
By vermin, and then they had a deadly necromancer.
Right, and then once you do that, you got the necromancer to worry about.
If they were level 0s, that's a problem. Is it written that the I don't know if they're, I don't want to call them zombies, but the enslaved, the footmen or whatever, do they frequently get fixed by clerics, or was that a thing we just did?
No, in the book they're just ghouls.
They're just ghouls.
That's all they are, and that was the. I'm trying to think of what the description in the book is. Former retainers of the Leget family corrupted into ghoul form. That's the extent of the description. So then there were just those ways that you got. I mean, when Kevin decided to try to like save them, I was like, what happens when you try to like save a ghoul? Like what goes down? And that was amazing. And then that became an avenue, right? Like
Yeah,
a
became a
whole
thing.
different way that could go.
That was one of my favorite parts. It was Gabri playing the song, and I was dancing with him, and then we cured him, like did the miracle.
And the fun thing about that was that I knew that they were upstairs, and you guys were down at the bottom of the stairs, and Gabri was already singing. I can't remember the reason why Gabri was singing, but it was one of those old songs that you learn in the library.
Right.
And I thought, well, those are the former servants, and there's some shred of humanity in there. So when they hear that, they might respond to it. And then like, that happened, and you guys totally like took advantage of that, which was super fun.
Well, and then you were expecting him like, oh, and we lure him down the stairs, and then he gets stabbed in the face with verite. And
Right.
Straight up murder hobo.
But, yeah,
we were not murder hobos.
No, I thought we did a good job. I thought it was, and it was fun that we were all sort of villagey and connected to the land, and the family Leget had various meanings to us. I thought that was really great. God, the music was great. Trude's steadfastness. Boris stole my heart.
yeah.
The poison puppy.
It's so good.
All the characters, you guys did such a joy.
Yeah, to listen to Kevin's like talk about his university days, or to like his investigation of all things Leget. It was awesome.
Yeah, you guys all did a wonderful job. Thanks for that. That was
that was super great.
Critical Role, here we come.
I have 8 weeks of in-person school that I have to weather, and then we get to the summer. I think summer starts June 3rd or June 4th. It'll be really early for us.
It's going to be a weird summer for everybody, but having done like a lot of focused reading on this, and especially now the CDC paper that just came out this week, it turns out people who are fully vaccinated, and they were getting like weekly labs drawn on like 4,000 healthcare workers that at like 6 different hospitals starting in December and kind of rolling through like mid-March. And the interesting thing is the vast majority of people who are vaccinated are not actually even carrying the virus if they're exposed to it. So, we were wondering, like, are you still infected, but you're asymptomatic and you still spread it to people? And now it looks like probably not. So if we get to this fabulous future where all of us are fully vaccinated, we probably could all hang out together for, Twilight Imperium or something else. So
you've everyone's interest now.
I'm not making all our lives suddenly run smoothly, mind you, but I'd like the virus wouldn't be a reason, I guess.
May Donoviev smile upon us then.
Yeah,
that's right.
I may go to church Sunday just for real life.
I see day trips in our future. No vacation again this year, but going to the beach, going to small New England coastal towns.
Yes.
Walk about.
Ventures.
Yeah.
Well, at the very least, I hope we can do some more of this again soon when the time is right. So even if we aren't summiting in Rob's basement, it'd be wonderful to convene.
Yeah. How's your HVAC there, Rob?
My HVAC is fine as long as we're in control of it.
Well, I was just going to say if it's allowed to be turned on.
But the problem is I had to rebuild the basement to separate Carson and Jason from one another in like virtual school.
Oh yeah.
And so the wall of board games now separates the room into 2 pieces. So they're kind of rethink about how we'll fit. But sadly, I have a feeling it'll be a while. Like I have plenty of time to work on that.
Yeah.
I mean,
stars
we could
align,
do it
I
at
would-
my house.
Yeah.
Um,
I would love this. This was great, guys. That, in a year that was super dark, this was a gift of both companionship and playfulness, and
yeah.
both of which were in real short supply, I think, for a lot of us. And so this was like super, super, super meaningful to me. And I just wanted to say how much I value you guys. And
Yeah.
this would be a
Real
delight
life.
to try, another scenario, another campaign, another rule set, or something like that.
Silver lining to the pandemic is the Zoom interactions that we wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah,
we get
wouldn't
together
have
every
done
summer for a
this.
thing, but like we get to like do stuff like this, which is actually really great.
Yeah.
And Kevin, I feel the same way. It's been such a boon. Like I don't laugh anywhere else in my life as hard as I laugh when I'm playing with you guys. It's like everybody. Oh my god, so great. Like Ictrude as the straight woman foil. Jaspar unfailingly amusing. Everybody.
Oh my God, so many good things.
Yay.
Yay.
Nobody
Jason,
wants to
thanks
say
for
it.
all the
Yeah,
hard
thank you,
work and the
Jason.
GMing
Yes.
and keeping us focused. The owl barreling, the mapping, all this stuff was just great.
I know. I said it before. I'll say it in front of these guys. In many ways, both Owlbear, sort of running the campaign, onto sort of even recording this stuff. Many different things inspired me to do the same. So use Owlbear, sort of up my game, and then do recordings, streaming, etc. with the Delta Green game. All direct line of connection back to your hard work on this.
Yeah,
So
oh,
thank you for
great.
that inspiration.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks.
Oh yeah, actually, it really nudged me off to do the Dungeon World stuff with my kids, which has just been a total gift. So
Awesome.
it's really been good. I put them on
Yay.
trial. I have
Nobody wants to say goodbye.
No, I don't want to say goodbye either. I put the kids on trial, and I brought back almost every NPC they've interacted with for the last 6 months.
Oh my
All
god.
testified at the trial. While the druid snuck out because she saw one of the sea witches setting up like a little sniper's nest across the crowded courtyard, and so she's wrestling on the roof with this horrible sea witch while the testimony is being done and objections were happening.
Oh my god.
And I went back through all the notes and pulled people out. I was like,
Yes.
"You remember this guy? I don't know. We don't remember this guy, Dad. You remember Oscar, the guy at the library? Oh, Oscar! We love Oscar!" And it was really fun.
Kevin, the idea of like you by yourself doing a whole courtroom drama with like
Yeah.
playing the
I
witnesses
brought
and the
back-
prosecutor and like
You
all
know,
that.
it may have seemed
That would be amazing.
seemed less likely until we had the Carnival of Hats
Yes.
experience.
Yeah.
We know that it is not
He is
only
committed to
possible.
the
I
bit.
did get a beret just for this. Oh, I must admit, probably on the camera, this looks like the other damn hat.
No, I almost called up the hat tonight. I was like, "Oh, is that a new hat? Was it just tonight you got the new hat?"
Like I think last week or the week before or the 2 sessions ago. But yeah, I got stuck with analysis paralysis. Like, well, which beret should I get? Which one's period? Is this a 12th century beret or 14th century one? I wouldn't want to, and I just ordered the cheapest beret.
That's awesome.
That's right. All
I,
right.
I
Well,
did buy the giant board game Nemesis so
Oh,
that
yeah.
when we do get back in person, I can personally throw you all out airlocks.
I totally want to play that.
Woohoo.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty darn good. It's well done, smooth. Played it with the kids this weekend.
Yeah.
Today
Let's
was a
look
big
forward to it.
Kickstarter day. Like 2 different Kickstarters ended today that they're like, "We're funded. We're taking your money." I'm like, "Oh shit."
When it's like a month away, you're like, "Oh, I'll have money. It'll be fine."
Yeah. But I didn't realize they all hit at the same time.
I got 7 hours. 7
I
hours
Whoa.
in it.
and tomorrow. And
Damn, look at that, Jason. That's
Look at
amazing.
that.
I
Holy
upped to the
moly.
full boat to the whole printed thing.
Thanks, Dean.
Well,
Dude,
no,
that's-
I'm just
that's
like, let's go. In for a
dope.
penny, in for a pound.
No, it looks
Well, you're
great.
not
I love the
alone.
sci-fi thing. Looks really good.
Thanks.
2,341 backers.
I know.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, it's crazy. It's gonna be a fun 6 months between now and getting it out.
No, you're a pro. That's
Well,
you know how it's done.
If I get through this, I'll be a pro. It's been like little steps, and this is the next big step. So
Because it's like real, it's like big D&D books.
Well, I started off, the first thing I kickstarted was like basically it was an adventure that, in fact, I ran you guys through that. Remember
Yeah,
that Servants of the
Servants of the
Cinder
Cinder
Queen?
Queen.
And
Yeah.
that was printed at a local printer, just like copy machine, basically. And then the next thing was Perilous Wilds, and that was offset, but in pretty limited numbers, and it was a pretty small book. This is 2 hardback books,
Yeah.
totally, all told, probably 700 to 900 pages, somewhere in that range, with a slipcase, debossed covers, silver foil stamp, that
Yeah.
whole deal. So
The slipcase is what got me.
That puts you-
I think I got a lot of people when I
I was like, wow, slipcase, they're serious. Shit, I'm going.
Beautiful.
yeah. So if I can get through this, I feel like I will have some, I'll have some experience. But each new thing I've done has required a whole, learning a whole new
Mhm.
step. So
That's awesome, though.
yeah, that's
It
great.
really is.
So far, so good. All right, thanks, dudes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Good night, guys.
Love
Yeah.
you all. Have a great
See
night.
you in the summer on email.
Yeah.
to Arrange things.
See you then.
We'll figure things out.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll make it happen.
We will.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.